Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from KeyboardImprov.com, and welcome to day 26 of my 31-day Jazz Piano for Beginners workout challenge. And this is continuing yesterday's jazz piano lesson on the 12-bar blues, which is used in so many jazz standards, including Freddie Freeloader, Thelonious Monk's Blue Monk and Straight Note Chaser, Charlie Parker's Billy's Bounce, and going way back to St. Louis Blues and things like that. And you hear it in different permutations with different tunes and different composers. So we're talking about how this 12-bar blues relates to the traditional blues form and sort of a template of 3 4-measure phrases. Now, if you haven't seen yesterday's day 25 where we started this and you're just getting started on the 12-bar blues, go back and look at that first. But we're going to continue here, setting my timer for 20 minutes. So we are doing this. We're showing up every day. We are learning jazz in a really solid and fun way. So repeat after me. C, F, C, C. C, F, C, C. Then second phrase. F, F, C, A. Ready? F, F, C, A. That's the first 8 measures. Let's do it again. C, F, together. Ready? C, F, C, C, F, F, C, A. Again. C, F, C, C, F, F, C, A. Now let's play those single notes. We're trying this in a lot of different ways between the hands. So let's just play some bass note, the roots, and let's play, ready, as we say it. C, F, it doesn't matter if we go up or down. Ready? Again. C, F, C, C, F, F, C, A. Now we're going to do that. Actually, let's sing that on those pitches to develop our ear. Ready? Go. C, F, C, C, F, F, C, A. Again, ready, go. C, F, C, C, F, C, O, F, F, C, A. Yep. And then let's do it and we'll hold each one for 4 counts. So I'll play 4 chords in the right hand. Ready, go. C, F, C, C, F, again F, F, C, A. Yep, 8 measures, first 2/3 of the blues. So let's play those chords in our left hand now. If you want, you can try to sing the roots as you play the full chord. C, 2, 3, 4. C, F, C, C, That's a really good exercise. You can even try to improvise over that while you're doing that. Let's try it. I'll try to improvise over that as we sing, and we're going to play the left hand. 1, 2, C, and C, F, C, That's good ear training, and it takes a while to develop that. So if you couldn't do it the first time, I couldn't do it the first 1,000 times. By the way, I have an ebook I had written called Essential Training for Jazz musicians or pianists, I forget, but I think it's essential training for jazz pianists. I'm going to put the link. If you're interested, you could order a copy there and download it from there. It'll be in the description below. Essential training for jazz pianists. Okay, now let's just keep playing that left hand a little bit with different comping rhythms. And then we'll add the last 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, F, C, F, now A7, A, C sharp, E, G. These are all dominant 7th chords so far. One more time with our left hand. Hopefully it's getting a little easier, right? If not, you can watch yesterday's again. Go slower through that. 1. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to get something, but just that you keep going and eventually you'll get it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, F, C, F, C, A7, and it's going to go to D minor. Good, let's now do those chords with our right hand, because we're just getting to know this really well and working on the different hands as well. 1, 2, you know what to do. C, F, C, C, F, F, C, A. Good. Let's do that one more time. Then we'll look at the last 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, F, C, F, C, A7. Yeah, all dominant 7ths. So we have A, C sharp, E, A. Now taken by itself, that could be the 5 chord of D, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, A, G, F, E, D. And in a way it functions as it's called a secondary dominant. Talked more about it yesterday, so if you want to really get into these changes, like I said, deeply, and you haven't watched lesson day 25, check that out. So D minor 7, because this is the last phrase of the blues. So the first one we have basically C and then a quick F back to C. So that's like you're staying home at the tonic, staying home. Then we go away to F and then back to C. And now in the traditional, most basic blues, we would have the 5 chord for 2 measures here, then back to 1. So we go farther away from home from the 4. We go to the 5, then we come home, which is the dominant 5 chord pushes you home anyway. In jazz, they tend to precede that with a 2 chord. They make it a 2-5-1. That's why people say the 2-5-1 is so important. But it's better to learn chord progressions first and then focus in on the 2 5s. So D minor 7, all white notes. D, F, A, C. Give that a try. And then, and we know this already, we've done 2-5-1s, and then G7. Either inversions or reposition, doesn't matter. So those are 1 measure each. So we go D minor, then G7. Let's just try that. Ready, go. D minor, G, again. Yeah, easy. We've been doing this. So that takes us to measures 9 and 10 out of how many? 12. So what do we have? 2 more left, right? So we're resolving to the 1 chord. After the 2-5, it does go to 1. And instead of staying on this for 2 measures, which you could, in some rock and roll blues they do that, or you could do 1 measure of C and then go to the 5 chord as a turnaround to get us back to the top. You don't do this if you're ending, you only do it if you're turning around, going back to the top again. It's very common to put in a 1, 6, 2, 5. That's another reason why we've been doing 1, 6, 2, 5 and not just 2, 5, 1. So, and a lot of times the 6 is the A7th again, not A minor 7th. So let's just go C7, A7, D minor 7, G7. Again, either hand or both. C7, A7, D minor 7, G7. It goes by pretty quickly, this turnaround. A 2-bar turnaround that has 4 chords in it means each one just gets 2 beats each. Let's go through the whole chord progression, and I'll walk you through it very slowly from the very beginning. 1, 2, right hand, and C7. That's the first measure. Then we go to F7, we know that. Back to C7 for 2 measures. Now the second phrase, F7. Again, return to C7, and now the 6, the A7. Now here's the last phrase, D minor 7, G7, C7, A7, D minor 7, G7, and we can end on C7 if you like, just at the very ending. Congratulations, that's the jazz version of the 12-bar blues. It's the most common jazz version of the 12-bar blues. There's some other variations, like you can go to the minor 4 at one point, things like that. But basically, if you go to a jam session and someone says play a blues in C in a jazz jam session, those are the chords that are the basic template and probably the most common at any jam session, at any jazz jam session. Let's do that 3 times in a row with our right hand, okay? C7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turnaround. 1, 6, 2, 5. Second chorus. D minor, G, C, A, D minor, G, C. And the truth is, I knew I was ending. I probably shouldn't have done the turnaround there. If you're to end, you just do the 2 to the 5, and then some sort of ending. Okay, so now what happens if you go to a jam session and you play that 4 chord at the beginning? You play 1 to the 4, and the bass player kind of looks at you strange because, you know, she didn't play that. You know, she just stayed on the 1 chord for 4 measures. What are you going to do? You're not going to say, "Excuse me, are you playing it wrong?" No, because that's an option, right? We learned that yesterday. It's more of a traditional blues, which Freddie Freeloader by Miles Davis went to. He wanted to return to a more traditional sound at that point after all the complexities of bebop. So there are variations, so you just sort of go with the flow. And sometimes you have to listen. I remember in college I was playing a lot of jazz blues, and I sat in with an R&B band, and they were playing, I think it was Chicken Shack. And I played the 2-5, and I realized they were all playing 5 to 4 to 1 near the end. So, you know, you just learn. It's a school of hard knocks. Sometimes you don't get it right away, right? Then you get it. All right, let's try the same thing with our left hand. And I'm going to solo while you play the chords. 1, 2, a little faster. F, C, F, say these out loud with me again. F. We can even sing them. F, C, A, D, G, C, A, D, G, C, F, C, So we're getting this, and you can review this. You can look at the chords below in the description. So you may be picking it up right in real time here, or it may be like, okay, well, this is still kind of new. I think it would have taken me definitely longer than 40 minutes to get this. So, you know, don't worry about it. You're in the right place because you're also getting it by osmosis. So it'll be easier when you do have time to analyze it. That's better than just learning out of a book dryly, right? We're trying to recreate how people learned back in the day when there was a scene where you just went down to 52nd Street. You heard a blues in every club, right? Clint Eastwood's movie Bird has a good scene where they're walking down 52nd Street. And you can hear the music, because I think I read they used to put speakers out in front of the clubs. You know, one time I was Jerry Mulligan's assistant, the saxophonist in the late 80s, 87 and 88. And one time he had a rehearsal at Lincoln Center with a chamber group that he had written some classical music for. He was playing baritone sax with it. And it was a beautiful day, like in April or May, beautiful spring day. And he wanted to walk all the way to Grand Central Station, which is, 40 blocks south and 5 long blocks. So it's about an hour walk, I'm guessing. And we walked down 52nd Street between 5th and 6th Avenues, which is all skyscrapers now and banks and everything. And he pointed out to me where every club was. He said, that's where the Three Deuces was. That's where the Onyx Club was. That was this. That was that. I was like, wow. All right, good memories. So let's do it again a couple more times, and we'll see. Tomorrow we're definitely going to add the right hand to this. So practice this after this session if you want. Either hand or both playing the same voicings, or any voicings you may know. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. go. Immersion in the 12-bar blues. So after these 2 days, you either have a really good start and are starting to hear it, even if you don't quite have it memorized yet, or you kind of knew it before and you've gone on to really know it in a solid way, or maybe you knew it and now you can play with more rhythmic flexibility and ease. So in any way, this is the way to do it. You jam, you play, you have fun. Thanks for being here. There's some links to click if you're interested. Please subscribe if you haven't already and you want to get my notifications for new videos and another video that I think you may enjoy. Down below is that link to the ebook Essential, what is it? Essential Training for Jazz Pianists. If you're interested, there's a link where you can get a copy for yourself. It has a lot of these rhythmic exercises and also ear training exercises that'll help you just become a more well-rounded musician. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.